And what did you discover was his goal, his research?
Well, as I say, it's almost impossible to know exactly what he was doing, but I should back up one step and say that when Mengele was airlifted out of the Soviet Union in January of 1943, he ended up in Berlin, and there he connected with his former mentor, Ottmar von Verschuur, who had become the director of the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute in Berlin. And Mengele was associated with that institute from January of 1943 until he went to Auschwitz at the end of May of 1943. And he got to know the staff of the institute and associated with them, understood their scientific interests, and his connection with the institute was very important to understanding and to kind of reconstructing what he was doing at Auschwitz, because he acted in very close cooperation with the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute when he was at Auschwitz. So what do we know? In my book, I talk about 6 areas of research that it appears he was involved in, and they include, among other things, seeking the cure for a disease called Noma, which was an oral cancer that had emerged at Auschwitz because of the poor conditions, poor nutritional and sanitation conditions. He was interested in eye color and examining the influence of hormones on eye color, because eye color was a difficult issue for geneticists at the time, since so many different physical factors contribute to eye color, and so many potential genetic connections are involved. And he did work at Auschwitz in connection with one of the scientists at the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute, a woman named Karen Magnusson. He did experiments on the impact of certain hormones when dropped into the eyes of individuals. He was also interested in something called specific proteins, which was an attempt to use these so-called specific proteins to determine race and other things. He was interested in physical anomalies. This was an anthropological interest. That is, he was interested in dwarfs and in giantism and giants. He was interested in other physical anomalies, clubfoot, hunchback, things like that, where he was interested in collecting specimens of these growth anomalies to be displayed and used for medical training. He was interested in gypsies and their anthropological characteristics. There's a theory, and I believe it to be true, that Mengele, when he got to Auschwitz, was interested in gaining his so-called habilitation, which is a postdoctoral status that one achieves in Germany if one wants to have a university career or to run an institute or something like that. It's an advanced postdoctoral degree, in a way, status, and that it was at least plausible, if not likely, that Mengele was using his time at Auschwitz at the Gypsy camp to collect information and anthropological studies to write his Habilitation Schrift, which is the postdoctoral dissertation. So there were a series of different kinds of inquiries that Mengele was interested in pursuing.